Hello and welcome to the 1500 3 p.m. turn of Compass Games Tinian The Forgotten Battle by Ross Mortel for Scenario 1 Jig Day. Okay, we seem to have secured for the Americans the left flank here, right flank not so much, and there's a lot of regular Japanese army units that seem to be quite tough and are within the perimeter. But we've only lost one American unit, one Marine company so far, so that's something. However, we don't have a lot of time, so there's 4 turns left. This turn, next turn is day turn, and then there's 2 night turns. So not a lot of time to sort everything out. There is some reinforcements coming over here from here this turn, which means the Americans need to be mindful of that extreme right flank here, rather than just what's going on up here. And so we can get on with our dispatch points here. That's the one thing the Americans are doing very well at in comparison. The Japanese Navy only has 2 dispatch points, the Army only 1 to spend, whereas the 4th Marines actually have 6. So they can do a lot more things at the moment, and that's and it's skewed in the Americans' way as well for getting more points. So what we'll do right now, just we'll do the dispatch points spending. So we have our standard chits into the cup as always, and then we need to purchase some chits as well. So I'll just shift the camera across and we'll have a look at that. So here we are with the division displays, and so we've got our points to spend down here. On the Japanese side, I think they need to spend a point at least. I don't think they can afford to spend 2 to get the whole division going, which is a shame, as the White Stripe units, which I've actually looked up, is that they're actually a construction battalion. This is why they only have 1 factor fire units, because they're not actually meant to be soldiers. But they're in place and they're doing what they're doing, so we'll leave it up to the Naval Guard Force, which is the artillery. So we will spend 1 dispatch point and we'll put the Naval Guard Force activation chit into the cup here. And on the army side, we definitely need 1 activation, and we suppose, well, it must be the incoming reinforcements. So this would be the 1st Regiment here, or 1st Battalion, however it works. It's not zooming in for me there. The 1st, which is the red stripe, we'll have to put those in for a point. That will leave them on 0 points. They're very restricted. Okay. And then we're over to the Americans, and for the Americans we certainly will do the whole division. So that's 2 points for that. And do we want to do the formations as well? That's an interesting point. This is the Marine Division activation. We have these 2 as well, these 2 activations as well for each of the regimental combat teams that are currently here. Might be worth buying the blue, which is the 25th, because they've got that flank to deal with. So, and they will be getting their HQ this turn. So, but what I could do is I could hold off and pay 2 dispatch points to activate them anytime I like. I think I will do that actually. I would spend the points, but it's worth it to spend double, I think. So once we've done that, so we've got the chits in the cup that we want to, then of course we roll for dispatch points, and we shall do that. Let's see if I can get it on camera. Yeah, so for the Imperial Navy, it's a 0 or 1 we need. They get a 4, so they get 1 point. Japanese Army, it's a 0, 1 or 2 to get 3 points. The 7, so just 1 point. And this is what's really going to be affecting them now, I think, is the lack of dispatch points. And the 4th Marines is on a 0 to 4. A 9, so they only get 1 point. So that's something at least. And that maybe cramps our style with activating the extra formation here. But we'll look at that. They do have 5 points, so maybe we'll look at that. Right, on to the action phase. Right, so let's start pulling chits. Let's see what we come up with first. We get the wind. Interesting. So we move all the barrages. We haven't had any fires yet because there's been only 1 napalm strike, and we haven't managed to get the flamethrowers assigned because we don't actually have HQs. But we should have an HQ this turn because it's about to arrive. If I just move us across to here to look at the beach, that's our first HQ to come in. So anyway, that's our wind. So what's next? We have Japanese direct command. Okay, so we need to roll for each of the formations. So for the Navy, it's a dice halved +1, and just off camera we get a 9. So that's 4 + 1, 5. They're down at 2, so very welcome to get up to 7. And then the Army, which is at 7, gets a dice plus that's +3. So 0 gives them 0 and 3. Right. Okay, so that's the commands gained, and now how do we spend them? Right, we're not going to get any of the divisional troops doing anything this turn because we've only got formation chits in the cup. So if we wanted to do anything with, for example, where do we have our we have our engineering unit here. We have the tank company, of course, as well, and our artillery units here. Same on the Navy side. We're not going to get any of the construction battalion doing anything. So if we wanted to fire them off, we only have the 2 here and 1 up here to play with here. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to spend 2 action points, and we will actually fire off these 2 artillery units. We have the observation post here, so we can see pretty much everything except for this line of hexes. So I think we're going to put it on this guy because he can be spotted and he's threatening this guy, and I'd really like him to hang around for a few more turns if possible, just to annoy the Americans. So and he's on level 2. There may be a possibility of do something here, and he is in column. So we'll fire one of these here, and I think the other one we will fire here, because there's 2 units here, and might double effect if you like. Okay, so here we have 2, 3 for the defense and 2 for the sugar cane. So we're back to 2, and we'll roll, and we get a 0. So that's and that's on indirect. So we get a disorganized. That goes up to level 3. And with 2 points, we get some smoke as well. And then also a suppress, because it was a 0. We'll put the smoke on top. So that's dealt that unit with about as well as we would expect. And the next file, which will be over here, it's the same, yeah, because these are in move mode as in column, so therefore it's a 2. We get a 6, which is a miss, but we do still get the smoke. Maybe not so used to because of the coverage of the beaches, but I think we're kind of beyond that now. This may prevent this beach here from being interdicted by the anti-tank guns up here. Anyway, that was 2 points. I think we will use 1 point to move the tank company. And I think we really need to be somewhere that we're trying to stay here, and I think possibly here we will move into this hex here. And that'll take us back down to 7, and I think we'll probably hold it there. I don't think we'll do anything with the Naval Guard force, or we could actually activate these guns to have a shot. That's true. How many did we get? We're down to 3, so maybe one shot. No, they're going to activate on their own anyway, so we'll leave them. Actually, I think we'll leave that. Okay, next chit is it's the 4th Marines. So right, so we didn't get the amphibious movement, so we don't get the HQ to move yet. It's just the guys on here, and that's annoying because we wanted to apply some support weapons once that HQ was landed, but we haven't got that. So what shall we do? Well, we decide on leaders first. We had this leader who was going to do that assault, but I think he's more useful elsewhere. So I think I'm going to put him possibly here, I think. Yeah. And this leader here, I think I'll probably shift him down. We actually have a unit here which is trying to clear out, so maybe we'll move him here. Yeah. Okay. So after that, after we do the leaders, I think we do support weapons at that point, which we can't do. Yep. We've got no concentrated or sustained fire markers, anything to do that. So we decide on whether units are deployed or in column. So we'll certainly get our mortars set properly here. I think we will set one of these units as deployed. I think there's a lot. We don't really need the units over here. We will certainly leave possibly a couple of companies, just keeping the Japanese honest. There is that unit there which could move. And these therefore can shift across, and we'll keep those in move mode. Up here we're all in deployed mode, and I think we kind of have to stay that way. Wondering about this guy, whether this guy needs to withdraw. There is a vulnerability that there could be some infiltration here by the Japanese. We haven't got the units in to move yet, so I think we will put him in move mode, even though he may get fired at while doing that, but I think he needs to pull back. Over here, I think this unit just needs to sit there. I think he can't move, can't do anything. This one, I think we'll have to move him to bring him across here as well. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to get part of the 24th to come back and deal with this chap here by White 2 Beach, whereas the 25th moves across. That's my idea. Okay, so we're not placing any assault markers at the moment, I don't think. Yeah, so we're just going to be activating units now. So taking it up here, I think we have the 1 level disorganization. How are we doing on direct commands? Very low. We only have 3. So we can't do very much more than just the straight normal turn. But I think we need to crack on with things here. So maybe, well, possibly if we do get to assign support weapons with a formation chip, maybe it's worth holding off the fire till then and just doing the disorganization level. But I think we need to really push on here. And so, no, I think we will fire here into here. So that's a 4 + 1, 5, -1, 4 into the sugarcane. The sugarcane makes it a 3, and the defense makes it a 2. So not a good shot really. Let's do that. Get a 7, so that's a miss. Here, I'd again like to get a shot into here. So that's 4, 5, 4, 3 for the sugarcane, 2 for the defense value, so it's another 2. Get a 4, that's a miss. This guy is moving, so he'll pull back, but he can be fired at because he's leaving the hex. So that's a 4. -2 is 2, +1 is a 3 on small arms, and rolls a 3. So that's a DG and an R star. And an R star, when we roll it, that's easy, that's a 4. An R star is a -1 route, so that's fine. And we'll fire with these guys. So one thing we will do is put a no opportunity fire on that guy. On this guy, 4 + 1 for the battery gun is 5, change to high explosive. -2 for the Rocky, so it's 5, sorry, it's actually 6 with the leader. 6 -2 for the Rocky is 4, and then the slope does give us a -1, I believe. Yeah, so that's a 3 here, and we get a 1, so another hit, but this time this is high explosive, so DG again. And another, this time this is an R star again, and a 2 is fine. So that's all the opportunity fire done there. And he pulls back to this hex here. As he's got half movement, I think that's about as far as he can get. Okay. Here we will move up to this line as well. Here it's an indirect fire, so it doesn't opportunity fire. Here we have 1, 2, 3, I think. That should hold them off. We are 1, 2, 3, possibly 4, 5 there, I think. Yeah, just get us a little bit extra space here, so this isn't a vulnerable spot. Right, we have fired these two. This guy will fire into possibly into here, I think. Yes, the construction battalion is a weak point. It's not very good on the morale. So we got a 4, -1 for the sugarcane, 3, and that's it. So just the 3. That's a 1. So 1 small arms is an R double star, and I say we've got the leader there, so that's something. We rolled a 2, that should be enough. So R double star gives you a -2 modifier, so it starts at a 0. So they're all fine with that. Here we will remove the suppress marker, and here we will fire into here. This is 4, +1 for a second unit. Oh, actually we wanted to move him, and where we wanted to move him to was actually into the marsh. I know, sorry, but yeah, you need to be there. So this guy's firing, that's 4, -1 for the sugarcane, +1 for the unit, so that's a straight 4. The 5, that's a miss. Okay. Over here we have some combat possible here, so we have 4 +1, 5, sorry 3 because of the disorganisation, 3, 4, 4, and this is sugarcane, but it is the hero as well, so that's so that was 4, 3, and then 4, 5 for his +2 defence. So it's on a 5 here, and we get a 2. A 2 on small arms is DGR star, so we move that to organisation level 2. We have for our we've got a +3 troop quality here because of the hero, so probably unlikely for something to happen here. That's a 5. We have a bear 3, +1 for the sugarcane is 4, 5, 6, 7 for the hero, and 1 down for the disorganised. So they're fine, they pass. Okay, just moving on here, 1, 2, and I think we'll move that unit into here. This unit will abandon the foxholes and move into here, and we will build some foxholes here just in case. engineering. Whoops. And this unit will move in with Colonel Hart, so it will become disorganized as well. Fine. Okay, so we have our mortars to fire, and we will fire them certainly over here. I think we will fire one mortar. Actually, we'll fire both mortars. When they're stacked, you can add them together, but you just add one to one of the values. So a 3 becomes a 4. So 4 into here, -1 for the sugarcane, -1 for the foxholes. So that's down to a 2. So we roll a 2 indirect. We get a 4, which is a miss, but as it's a 3, we get a light barrage. A 3-factor indirect unit, we get a light barrage on that unit. That's pretty much the 24th taken care of. We have the mortars here, which I think we should plug at quite a few of these units here. So 3 factors into here, that's 3, 2, that's a 1. And 8 misses, but we do get the light barrage. The next, we have 2 stacked here, so we can fire them together. I think this looks like a good hex. Actually, no, I think this looks like the good hex, because this has the battery gun in, which we'd really like to get rid of. So 3, 4 into here. There are foxholes, and it's sugarcane, so it comes down to 2. Actually comes down to 1 because of the defense value, so that's just a 1. And we roll a 1. So roll a 1 on indirect is just an R, and there's a leader there, of course. So let's just see what that result is. It's a 5. I think they're fine. So there's no effect there, but of course we do have the light barrage appearing as well. I think I might have run out of them actually. Here we go. That was here, wasn't there? Right. There's nothing much else to do other than maybe use some direct commands. We only have the 3, and we might pull the aircraft jet, so I don't think we should actually use that. In which case, that's the end of the turn for the Marine Division. So next chit is the event chit. So the event chit, we will roll, and we roll a 5. 5 is, oh, that's the worst one. So it's called civilian suicides. All this does, it basically ends the Japanese 4 victory points. So they're on 5 victory points at the moment. It's kind of an unlucky thing that eventually you might roll this, and it's just a one-time 4 victory points to the Japanese. Slightly difficult in the case of this scenario, but you can't roll it again. You just ignore the roll once that's been awarded. Okay. We have Navy support. So our task forces come in. I think we really need to deal with the units up here. As it's a task force, it can be pushed onto that light barrage. I think that's one good place, and I think possibly here as well, because they've both got the support weapons with the high explosive. Okay, so here we have a 7, -1 for the sugarcane, -1 for the foxholes, and -1 for the defense value. So we're down to 4. We get a 1. On indirect becomes an R. We roll the route check. to 4, which is fine. That'll be fine. So we don't do anything here other than we increase the light barrage to a heavy barrage. So hopefully that should kind of shut them up for the turn. And here I think we're on the same. Here we don't actually have we don't actually have the foxholes, so it's just -2 then. So we're down to a 5. We roll a 9, which is a complete miss, so we don't even get a barrage marker with a 9. Oops, just losing everything here. Get the tweezers out to sort this out. Okay, that's Navy support. Next chit. Okay, we have amphibious movement. Okay, at last. So, these guys can land. And we finally have an HQ on the board. Hurrah. We'll make them deployed, of course. There's no point in making them. Column. Okay. And we've got, sorry, I haven't moved the camera. We've got the 25th, sorry, no, the 23rd RCT units, which are coming through, and they'll come through the reef zone. I don't think we will be able to fire through the smoke here, so both of these anti-tank guns will fire here, and they will be on a 3 + 1 4 -1 for the disorganization level. Let me just get them in view. 3 4 3. That's it, just a 3, because there's no defense value. This is on hard target and armor piercing, so a 4, so that just misses. Here we have a 4 3. That's just a 3 as well, so that does roll a 3, and a 3 is an R. So an R, we roll a 2, which is fine. So they pass, and on we go. Right, that's the amphibious movement. So next chit. Now I'm wondering whether we should spend our dispatch points to sort out the RCT. I think it's worth it because we can assign. We have. My God, how many do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 support weapons to hand out. So I think it might be worth it, even though if we might be a little short next turn. But yeah, so over on the dispatch points here, we're moving dispatch points down to 3, and we are activating the 25th RCT. Right, so that means just the blue units. So it's a normal activation, so we can move our leader around. I think he's probably quite happy where he is. Yes, I think so. Okay. So from then on we have the support weapons, and now this is where I think we will be able to assign particularly the flamethrowers. I think the flamethrowers would be in here. We have 3 of them. I think we should assign them to this unit. This unit. this unit. Where's the other one? There we go. Okay. And we... right, other support weapons we have. We have a light anti-tank gun, which I think I know where that needs to go. Unfortunately, the only unit which is close to this tank, we can just use it for high explosive, but it would be nice to use it as a tank here. So we'll assign it to this unit here. And then we have 3 heavy machine gun support weapons as well. So certainly I think we may beef up these units. And is that all of them? No, we have this one left. This one left. We may assign to this chap who's just landed, because I think everybody else here has got one. Oh, maybe this chap, yeah. So that's the support weapons handed out, finally. And then we will also decide on whether we're doing any assaults. I don't think we're doing any assaults with the 25th, and then decide for deployment. So these will certainly flip over. Two deployed. And I think the HQ will move, actually, as will these, to get off the beach, as per usual. And I don't think we're moving anything else. Oh, that's still, I think we'll deploy that. Okay. Right. So now we've done the deployment. Right, we need to see what we're going to do here. So I think we'll do quite a bit of firing here, because we've now got the flamethrowers, which help a lot. And I think we will fire this one here. So that's 4 plus 1, 5, turning into high explosive. So that's 5 against. Oh, that's where the tank went. I thought it was over here. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe I might change those. Yes, I think I'll change that flamethrower out for the light anti-tank. Or actually, I will probably assign both. Maybe I'll assign the flamethrower down here to this unit. Yeah, it's a better place for it to be. Right, so where were we? Here we go. And so this unit will fire 4, 5. I think. Yeah. It's in this hex, isn't it? Sorry. 5 against the tank. It's got a 0 defense here. So on armor piercing, we have a 5, -1 for the sugarcane, of course, which is 4. So on a 4, we roll an 8, which is a miss. Here we shall fire our our flamethrowers over here. So that is 4, 5, 6 with the leader on high explosive, minus 3, I think it is, sugarcane. No, sugarcane and the defense value. So we're down to 4. Oh, that cocked. We get a 3. So a 3 high explosive now. Now that's 2 DG and then an R. So there's no DGs on this at all. So this is where you can start to see the difference with the high explosive. So 2 GGs and an R, which is unlikely. The leader is there. A 6, no, that's not going to do anything. And we rolled a 2, didn't we? Yes, that was a. No, it was a 3. So yeah, no fire is caused there, and here we'll fire the flamethrower into here. So that's 4, 5 for the hero, 6 for the flamethrower, 5 for the disorganization level, 5, and that's 4 for the sugarcane only. So that's a 4 on high explosive. Rolled a 0, so that's 2 GGS, so that's the best result on 0. So we get the suppressed result, but we also do 2 levels of disorganization. So that's actually, and this is suppressed. That's changed quite a bit, the situation there. Okay. And any more firing. So I think what we might do is we might get these 2 mortars to just join in over here. So 4 minus 1, minus 2, sorry, here for the defense value as well, and sugarcane. So it's 4 down to a 2. 2 on the mortars. A 3 is a miss, but it is a light barrage as well, just to add to the stack of counters there. We have this mortar unit, which we will fire, I think, into here. So that's 3, 2, 1, 0. So it's only a 0, and it is a 0. So DGS, so disorganized, and a suppressed marker goes there as well, and of course a light barrage. So it's pretty furious fighting going on here. Movement, we have our HQ, which I think we will leave in this hex. That'll give us decent cover. This unit with its flamethrower, I think we want to move it up towards this area. So 2, 4 is as far as it can go this turn. And the engineer, the engineer, I think we don't really need to build any trenches or anything like that at the moment, so I think we will just move him possibly as some kind of guard here. Yeah. Oh, I know what we can do. We can put him not yet though, 2, 4. Yeah, we'll just leave him here. Likelihood is we can just stick him in the corner here, and that would work. We want to get this guy to plug this gap here. Okay, any more for the I don't think there's anything more for the 24th RCT. Direct commands, we're still only got 3 of the damn things, so I'm inclined possibly to use 1, and that would be that's not a dispatch point, a direct command. A direct command just to drop this guy's disorganization level down one. Just one worrying a little bit there, so keep that there, that's fine. And that's 4th division. So next chit is air support. Right. So we're going to get the direct commands last, it looks like. So how many air support do we get? We get a 9, which is none anyway. So there we go. That's the air support done for the turn. And the next chit is, there's the direct commands. Okay. So the direct commands, we have dice plus 5 halved. So we have a 7 halved, which is 3, plus 5 is 8. And that takes us up to 10. That's how low we were. Okay, do we want to spend any? Well, we have our wonderful artillery unit, of which 1 can certainly reach this part of the battlefield. So we will use our 6 factor unit to to come in, I would think, on that's quite high disorganisation, so I think possibly there. And it's a light barrage, so we can stick a heavier barrage on there. The other 2 with just the 24, I don't think they quite reach. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1 to 2 to 3, 24, so can get there. So we'll put our 5 factor here, and maybe our 4 factor on here. Yes. Okay, so that's 6, and that would be a minus 3. Oh no, minus 2. Defense value and sugarcane. There is no foxholes there at the moment. So 6, 5, 4, 4 indirect. Get a 9, so absolutely nothing out of that. I'll drop the commands by 3 actually, while I remember. Here 5, 4, 3, 2, I believe. Yeah, so we have the unit itself, which is minus 1. We have the sugarcane, and we have the foxholes. So minus 3 is a 2. So 2 indirect. A 7 is a miss, but that does upgrade to a heavy barrage. And finally here we have 4, minus 3 for the pillbox, minus another 1 for the sugarcane, takes us to 0, but plus 1 for the artillery unit. So that's just on a 1. A 3 is a miss, but again we get our heavy barrage. Right, any more direct commands? I'm just wondering whether we should possibly put a direct command here for this unit to fire into here. That's very precarious. It's quite high on its disorganisation level. So yes, I think we will do that. So that will be 4 plus 1, 5 for the flamethrower, plus 1 for the hero. That's 6. Minus 1 for the cane, and the defense value another minus 1. So that comes down to a 4. A 9 is a miss. Any more? We could again look to remove this disorganisation even further. Probably a decent idea. Okay, and last thing I'm thinking of is whether we can get this guy up to this point to give us the final sort of link in the chain, stopping any infiltration. So steep slope is a +1, so that's 2 into rocky, and then 2 into rocky again. +1 for the steep slope is 5. So yeah, I think just to give ourselves peace of mind, I think we will move. Oh, he's got his flamethrower with him, so we'd like to get that into the fight as well. So we have a kind of line of flamethrowers here. Very good. Okay. Right. What we do? Yeah. I think we're done there for the direct commands. I'm not sure we want to do anything over in 24th RCT for the moment. We are now down to 4. And again, if we get the air support, I'd like to have some available for that. So that's our direct commands. We're left with, it's the 150 Army, Japanese Army formation. Right, so this is our friends here. Now we have some support weapons with them. There's 3 companies there. We have a heavy machine gun, a knee mortar, a battery gun. Yeah, that's the 3. So I think we'll might as well assign them to each one. I think the HMG, battery gun, and knee mortar. This does mean that we're not thinking of putting them up here. That might be a mistake. Well, certainly only the one with the HMG would we do that in, which is fine. So they're all in move mode, and we can move them on. We do have direct commands, so we can do more with these guys. So I think we will. I think the battery gun and the knee mortar, I don't believe they're allowed to come up into upper slope. Let me just check that. Right, the restrictions are for marsh and for a steep slope. So we can move up here with one of their main support weapons, so that's fine. In which case that's maybe what we will do. We'll move the unit with the HMG 1, 2, 3, 4. This unit 1, 2, 3, 4, and this unit 1, 2, 3. And we will keep the leader here, so everybody's in command. Right, and then we can add these direct commands for these units. So we could yeah, we could certainly fire this one. I think we'll have a direct command to have a second action. So this is 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 1 for the leader is 5. High explosive 5, minus 1 for the sugarcane. So that's a 4 on high explosive. It's a 9. A 9 means that this knee mortar actually is broken, and it's actually removed from the game. So when the American support weapons fail, they go back to be reallocated. However, the Japanese ones, when they break, they're broken for good. So that knee mortar immediately comes off. That was a good use of a direct command, wasn't it? Right, I think I'll... do we want to fire anything else? I don't think at the moment. No, we've got these barrages around. I think we'll leave it. That leaves us with 6, which is a healthy total to have. So we only have one chit left, which is the 56th Naval Guard Force, which will be kind of an artillery and direct fire anti-tank gun kind of activation. So that's the black unit here. So leader movement, we do have a black leader back here. Quite happy where he is, to be honest. Doing a good job. And yeah, so really we're just firing. It's these units back here and this chap here. So for this chap, I think we'll move our disorganisation level down, and he's just being an absolute nuisance there. And here we'll do some firing. So as far as spotters go, this guy is it. Even this chap is not part of the guard force. So around here, this looks a juicy target to infantry, and they're in marsh. So with I think our biggest guy, a 5 -1 is 4 into marsh. Marsh is +2 defensive value terrain, so 5, 4, 5, 6, 7 because of the move, so that maybe wasn't the brightest thing to do. So on a 7 there's a 2, so 2 on indirect is DGR, so we get here and roll R, and that's a 9, so that's actually a rout. So these units actually, they haven't quite got their HQ on the board yet. This really was a stupid move. They are actually eliminated, and that pushes the victory points for the Japanese even further up. So yeah, daft move by me. Yeah, so that marsh is a bad place to be. Okay, from here we have a 3-factor unit firing. We have these units on the beach here, which can't be seen. This can only see 1 hex, so this is a unit in a little bit of difficulty, so probably there, I think. So 3, 3, 2, so it's 2. And 5 is a miss, but we upgrade that, of course, to a medium barrage. And we have this unit over here, and we will fire it on these units, I think. Yeah. So that's 4, and the brush makes it 4, makes it a 3. We'll have the deployed unit defensive value. So that's a 3. A 4 is a miss, but of course we get a medium to replace the smoke. Right, what we've got left is our anti-tank guns to fire here, because I don't think they've really got that much line of sight. They could fire here, but that's all. I don't think that's a good use of what they're doing. So we have 3, 4, back to 3, -2 is a 1 here, and this is a hard target to roll. A 5 is a miss. Same here again. That's a 0. So 0 is an R. We roll for the R, and a 6 will be fine. So no problems there. And that's the guard force, I believe. So that's the turn. Well, there's a lot of artillery firing going on. We've had the flamethrowers start to do their work. But we had that big artillery barrage into the marsh here that's wiped out 2 companies, which has probably tipped the game in favour of the Japanese here. They're currently on 7 points. 7 victory points. 7 victory points puts them already onto a minor Japanese victory. So the combination we had of those civilian suicides, 4-point VP, and then these 2 units, that's kind of yeah, made it game for the Japanese. However, we'll still keep on going, and I say we might even you know, carry on beyond the last turn, turn it into a kind of campaign game. But anyway, it's been a lot of shooting going on here. Hopefully you'll be able to keep up, and I haven't made too many mistakes trying to get through everything that's going on here. It's fairly intensive fighting going on here. Gives quite a good feel to the whole thing, and yeah, we'll see what happens next turn, which will be the last day of daylight. That's the 5 PM turn. So until then, thanks for watching.